Today we will talk about a very important scripture given to the mankind for the wellness of mankind. The scripture date is really not clear, but it is thousands of years old. Prashno Upanishad. The name itself is having the meaning of Upanishad, Prashna. Prashna in Sanskrit, translation is question. Now, what is question, or how many types of questions? Question means some type of curiosity or something which you do not know. You have something deep inside or shallow inside to get it clarified. When you are seeking clarification, it could be in the form of question also. Then questions can be two types: casual, just some curiosity, and second type, inquiry. Now, simple curiosity may not have much importance. More important is inquiry. Inquiry again of two types. One inquiry is towards the mundane world. What we are trying to understand is about the mundane world. Second inquiry is to know beyond this world. We call it inquiry about the true self, mumukshutva. In this Upanishad, six rishi students, or six aspirants, or six yoga aspirants, or six yoga students, they went somewhere in different directions, somewhere in the Himalayas or somewhere, and they kept on studying, they kept on practicing, they kept on reading. They were going from different master to different master, or they were in search of the master to find the answer of their questions. It is a natural process. Whenever a person goes into some practice, sadhana, will come out with some questions about the practices, about the path. Then what was happening? These six guys, they were practicing somewhere in different parts, and then while wandering, they got somewhere meeting together, and they were searching. They were searching the master from whom they can ask the questions or the curiosity or the deep quest what they had deep inside. So who were these six guys? They were from the masters, or from the somewhere from the lineage of the masters, or from the son of some rishi. So these all six, when they got together, they went in search of a guru, that who can give them the answer. Now this is Prashno Upanishad is the mantra part of Atharva Veda. There are 4 Vedas we had been talking about, and this is the Brahman part of Atharva Veda. And this is the similar type of Upanishad is in the mantra part of Atharva Veda as a Mundak Upanishad. This is also mentioned there in a different way, that more deep clarifications are there. That is what is given in Atharva Veda. So these 6 rishis went where? They were having the bookish knowledge. They had the informations. They had the bunch of whatever we call so-called outer shell of the informations, but they were lacking the knowledge of self-realization. So they were searching. they visited the ashram of Maharishi Piplad. Now, Piplad word is a very beautiful word. Somewhere there is a people were like say we have a tree here in India, very auspicious tree. Somewhere who knows that he got realization under that tree, or because of him that he created some empowerment or something like that, which is connected to this auspicious tree, which is supposed to give maximum life energy, prana vayu, the word. So these all six guys, the beauty of these six guys, they were of the different direction. One was the son of Maharishi Bharadwaj, is a very famous rishi. His name was Sukesh. Sukesh was the son of Maharishi Bharadwaj. Then the son of Shivi, Satyakama. Satyakama is the another guy who was in search of these deep questions. Then another was the Suryans, was the descendant of Maharishi Garga. There was a great master, Maharishi Garga. Then Kaushal was another guy. Then Bhargav, rishis downward from the Bhrigu Gotra was the Bhargav guy. And then the last one was Katya's son, Kabandhi. Now these six guys, when they approached the master, who is the master? Maharishi Piplad, the great enlightened master. What they did, they went with some offerings. It is in Indian customary that you never visit Guru empty-handed. You take some offerings according to your capacity, ability. In those days, when they were not, these are the seekers, they were not making any money, so they could take something which was the material for sacrifice in the fire. So something like we call samvidha. So they took some offerings to the master, bowed down, surrendered, and requested to ask their whatever questions deep inside. Then Maharishi Piplad gave a beautiful task to all six students, which is very difficult to understand in today's circumstances and today's education system. What Maharishi Piplad told them: go for 1 year in the ashram, serve as a brahmacharya, as a brahmachari, as a celibate, as a nishkam karma yogi, means a karma yogi who is having no expectations, no attachment. Now in ashram, when a person goes, it is also well known that ashram, come and action for purification. So this purification was a process which was given by Maharishi Piplad to all six students. If somebody got not very purified, will run away. This is something very clear with the master. So he told all the six, go and work for 1 year. Come to me after 1 year with your questions. It was not easily that, okay, you ask question and it is given you immediately the answer. Now here is something very interesting to note. All the six disciples had some questions. Now this Upanishad has got major two parts. One is dealing with the Aparavidya. Aparavidya means the section of questions which is dealing with physics, metaphysics and all that. Physical world, mundane world, materialistic world. Another three set of the question is dealing with the Paravidya. First is Apara, then Paravidya. Para means Paramatma. The later three means the second half of the whole questions are belonging to the connecting to the universal energy, universal power, or Paramatma or Ishwar, or something which is the power of all powers. This was the two sections divided very clearly in this Upanishad. So this was something very interesting to go. And how Upanishad started? This Upanishad started with the prayer. Prayer means we are just surrendering to you, and we are making prayer that whatever we listen to our ears, it should be graceful, grateful. Whatever we see through our eyes, with the grace, with the kindness, and through our body, we should always, our all senses, always making the prayer to the higher consciousness, and let this body be useful for something when we came in this world. It starts with that kind of prayer. Then also it says that making prayer to that all our senses devote to the divine Indra. Swastina Indro Vridashavaha Swastina Pukha Vishwaveda Swastina Staraksho Arishtanemi Swastino Brahaspatir Dadhatu. Means whatever is in negativity in this system should be out, and let these all senses be fulfilled, and we come something better, and let all the supreme consciousness help us to do something good, something excellent in this world. This is the prayer when it starts. These two prayers are the part of Vedas, and then it goes with the Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This Shanti Shanti Shanti, 3 times Shanti. Why 3 times Shanti? Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Adhyatmik. We had been talking about that a lot about earlier. So after 1 year passed, what happened? The first disciple, the first question came by one of the disciple. He came to, what was the name of the Rishi? Who was the Rishi to whom they came? Anybody please tell me the name? You remember?
Rishi Pipladi.
Yes, Pipladi. So this was the beauty. The first son came to Kabandhi. The first boy, Kabandhi, came to the Rishi. And he bowed down, lay down in front of the Maharishi Piplad and requested the question. Bhagavan means the divine. He started in Sanskrit, Bhagavan. Kute iva ima prajayant iti. What does it mean? It means that this world, how this world is created, how this world is formed, how this world has came, this is what is the question number 1. And this is a very, very clear question. How this world is created, how it came into the these all creatures, all these creatures arise how. So this is question number 1. Then answer was beautiful, given by Maharishi Piplad. Prajapati. What he said? Prajapati. He used the word Prajapati, the Lord of all creatures, what we call Brahma. Brahma was desirous of offspring, performed penance, tapa, and by practicing tapa, he produced the prayer of matter and life. This is something very interesting. Prajapati did penance and he produced the pair of matter and life. That this was his idea, that they will produce manifold beings from him in diverse ways. This was the idea of Prajapati, the Brahma, in the beginning, when he started thinking of that. So what he did, Rai and Pran. Rai and Pran, these 2 words you should remember. Rai and Pran, these are the 2 important things. Matter and life. Matter and life. This is what you should remember. Rai. The entire answer is based on these 2. Rai and Pran. Matter and life. This is the way the entire movement is going to go further. So what is Rai? Let me just explain you before. Is gross, is a form. It's like a moon. It is the nature. It is the creation. It is the shape. This is called ray. And what is the prana? Prana is the life force, sun, sunrise, and all which is giving the Vaishwanar Agani. That is what is the prana. So, there is no form for the prana, Surya, but there is a form of Chandra. So, moon is the matter and Surya is the prana. So, now sun, how this is evolving, how the creation is evolving, he explained further that when the sun is arising, sun enters into the world from the east side, sun rises. Then he baths with its all the rays to all the lights in the east side. Then shines brightly upon where is if it goes into the south, wherever it is in the west, north, all that is below and above, there are millions of sun rays. They are giving to the creatures. Creatures are taking bath with all the millions of rays. All the creatures, they start getting prana. That is why sun is said here prana. Now, when you study yoga science, you feel that this is the prana. No, this is a simple breathing. Along with your breath in, you inhale prana. When you exhale, prana goes out. When the body dies, prana goes out. So what they say, sun is giving prana. Sun is a prana. Here sun has been said as a prana. Prana goes in, people are alive. So this is when the sun is rising, it has been compared the prana as a Vaishwanara, fire, what we call Jatharagni, or the fire which is keeping all of human beings or the creatures, not only human beings, all creatures are alive and they rise to the life. If there is no fire, life is not possible. And this is also mentioned in Rig Veda. This is also important, right? And then there are so many different type of forms will come, different colors will come, all objects will start coming with one light, another light, and austerity. Thousands of rays will come, thousands of forms, hundreds of forms will come, and life start rises with the rising of the sun. This is what is the beauty. And then what happened? The whole year, 365 days, we say the sun days, 365. Moon days are different. Lunar calendar and solar calendar, they are different. But here in this Upanishad, Maharishi Piplad is talking about solar calendar. The entire year, the Prajapati, what we have already spoke, the Lord of beings, has two way. The southern path and the north, south and north. Ayan, we say Ayan, Dakshan and Uttarayan. In Sanskrit, we call Uttarayan means north, Dakshan means the south. So what happens? Those who perform very good yajna, sacrifice actions, sacrifice of your desires, that is also called as yajna, and worship, they conquer. What they do? They conquer the moon. Because what they are doing, they are sacrificing for the worldly things to be attained, that good health, good wealth, good things to come in their life. So whatever is born in the world, for that they do the sacrifice. So what they go into this south part. South path is for those people. When they go on the south path, what will happen? They will be just coming back. But what happens to the northern part? So Uttarayan will go to the people who are observing the austerity, celibacy, faith, trust, knowledge, yogic path, and then they naturally get relief, or they naturally get freedom from this mortal world. They enter into the zone of immortality, or they can attain the liberation, or they can attain the highest goal of human life. That is what happened, means they will not be the subject to the birth and death. Those who follow Uttarayana. Uttarayana means the north part. So that is what they say. This deity, the sun is the father of 5 seasons. How is this such a beautiful thing? In India, we have 5 seasons. and 12 forms. 12 forms, we can say that different type of forms are there, different waters and all that. And that deity sun is on a chariot of 7 wheels with the 6 spokes, 7 wheels, what we call as a very big chariot. The sun is riding on that chariot. And this Prajapati, what they do, half dark and half light. This is what happens. When sun is on one side, it's dark, it's light. When sun is on one side is the dark, other side is the light. And this is what happens day and light, day and night, day and night. This is what happens in the creation. Here Maharishi Piplad is revealing the secret of this creation. Now, what happens with the day and night? Day is life. Day, when the light is there, it is life. Light is life. Night is matter. Night is matter. Night is not, they are saying active, but it is the matter. But what they say, when during the night, if human beings or the creatures, they do relationship for procreation, they are procreating the good energy. But those who are having the relationship during the daytime, they are wasting their life energy, the vital force they waste. That is why it is recommended in this Upanishad for the union of male and female, the appropriate time as per the universal coexistence or the creation is the night time, advised by Maharishi Piplad here. What will happen if it is act is done during the night? They will be creating the good society, better society. They will be creating the good type of people, not the odd type of population coming in the world. Then what he says further, that food what we call, that is also Prajapati. What food we eat, drink is Prajapati. And that food is what it is saying, it makes semen, the power to procreate. And from there we all creatures are born. This is what is the way the system continue working. So this is the way Lord, the Prajapati is creating both male and female. And for the mean, world is created by Brahma. This is what is so beautifully said. And those who are making their life with full of devotion, dedication, they go and merge with Brahman. They will not come back into this world. They will be liberated. Now, here in this section, question number 1 is completed, which is the first section of Prashno Upanishad. So, if you have any question now, may please ask. Otherwise, we'll do some small experiment of meditation. Anybody got any question, please? Please go ahead.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Guruji, my question is here, as you are saying that this Rai and Prana.
Yes.
Is a Rai and Prana is a symbol of solar and lunar.
Correct.
So my question is here, as we know that the whole universe, we are made up with the universe, and everything, whatever we can see in this universe is situated in our body. So this also, I already, maybe in another Upanishad I asked this question. I'm sorry for this. So again, my question is this related again with our 2 nadis, Surya or Chandra, or is this something different? Because you are again adding here the Vaishwanara Agni, which is situated in our Manipur chakra. So is this something related to that?
See, somewhere it is symbolically Chandra Nadi, Surya Nadi. Symbolically, it is the same point. It's the same. But Chandra and Surya at large, it is taken in the universe. Chandra and Surya Nadi are limited to our body. That may be the symbolic. It's not different, it's the same. And Vaishwanara Agni is the life force, fire of life, right? Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Guruji.